Hey, what's up, guys? It's late at night right now. I don't know who's gonna see this, but in this video, late at night, randomly, on November 12th, 2025, I just wanted to talk about. Well, I want to talk about religion. So my thoughts on religion are like really weird. So I grew up in like a Muslim family, and basically, growing up, I was kind of like told to be religious in a way, but it just like wasn't something that ever um that I had to like kind of like force myself to be interested in it, if that made sense. It was like I believe in it, but the only reason I'd ever do anything was because I was kind of fearing going to hell or something like that, and that was just kind of like how I conducted myself for so long. It was basically like never for like the love of God, I guess you could say, and it was always just um, oh, I don't want to go to hell, so I'm gonna do this thing, that thing. And actually, when I was like starting out in high school, around this was like many years ago at this point, but when I was starting high school, around that time in my life, I was actually like quite sorry. These AirPods are like still trying to get them fit in properly. But yeah, anyway, so in high school, back in the day, I was like pretty religious in the beginning. Um, but uh, when did it change? I think so. Ninth grade, I was religious. 10th grade, and by religious, I mean like I was actually like praying like every day frequently. I was even there's this thing like Muslims do a lot. They memorize like parts of the entire Quran. So when I was like 14 or 15, I had like almost a third memorized. It was crazy. I've like forgotten it all at this point. If you're Muslim watching this, sorry, but yeah. Okay, so what was I saying again? Yeah, so around 10th grade, this was in like gosh, 10th grade, many years ago at this point. So okay, 10th grade, around that point was when things started to shift more. I was still religious, but it was like life was getting harder and harder in a way because the household that I grew up in was like really messed up. There was like abuse and manipulation, just all this stuff. I had like this horrible stepmother. I've talked about it in like other videos before, I think. So you guys can watch that there. But basically, the point I'm trying to make is life got harder, and just like as life got harder, I just felt like when I'd come home from school every day, I just couldn't be bothered to like sit down and try to like memorize the Quran and like pray and like do these types of things. You get what I'm saying? It was like when I got home, I just wanted to like go on the computer, maybe like call my friends, play this game called PUBG was really popular at the time, so we used to play that. Counter Strike, we still play once in a while to this day. That game's fun too. But so like I don't know, like when I got home from school, I would just feel like not wanting to pray and do all this stuff anymore because I was just like exhausted. I don't for you guys who might be in like different religions like Christianity and stuff like that, it's actually um pretty different compared to Islam in terms of like the worshiping. Like in Islam, worshiping is like it's like an intense thing. Like every day, you have to do it 5 times. You have to wake up in like the middle of the night. And it's just like so much in Islam compared to Christianity. People say this thing a lot of times where they'll say like Islam and Christianity are very similar in terms of what they teach, and it's like yeah, that's true on like a moral level, but like in actually practicing the religion, they're actually quite different. Because with Islam, you have to constantly keep this up forever basically, right? There's no day off, otherwise it's like a major sin. So yeah, so that's just like how that went for me. So around 11th grade, keep in mind, up until around 2024, so basically like for many years throughout all high school, I still like believed in it, but I just like wasn't like practicing it as much because I just didn't have like the will in me, if that made sense anymore. I was too like ugh, just like everything is so stressful, and I just didn't want to like keep it up as much. So around 11th grade, that was actually when I also started making my animation and stuff like that and taking them seriously. That was around 11th grade. So at that point, still the religion was like going on a downturn. 12th grade, it kind of just like hovered around the same level for a while. I started college. By this point, I was still like praying consistently. Of course, I'd like miss prayers and stuff like that, but I was still doing it consistently. And then by my second year of college, I'd say that's when it started to kind of like break down more, or particularly like my third year of college. I just started like questioning things a lot more and um, just not wanting to do as much anymore, if that makes sense. Um, it's weird when I think about it. It's not like. Sorry, I'm losing my train of thought here. What was I saying? Um, Yeah, so okay, so this is weird and it's like hard to explain, but like when I was younger, I always had this thought like, oh, it would be nice if I could just like do whatever I want and not have to worry about like a lot of rules because in Islam specifically, there's like a lot of rules, right? Like you can't date, you can't what you can't drink, you can't there's like a lot of things like even like listening to music is considered kind of like maybe you shouldn't do that. So there's that too. There's just like all these rules and stuff. So at a certain point I just kind of wanted to let it go if that makes sense. And ever since like the past year and a half to 2 years, I'd say I haven't been like as religious anymore. Even in terms of belief, it's like I I guess like I partially believe still, but it's like it's more like complicated now. And once again, as I've been saying throughout this video, I just don't have like the will in me as much as I used to for whatever reason. And also like these days now, I've been thinking more about like philosophy in a broader sense and like sort of I think it's called like the problem of evil. Like why does evil exist if God is good? Um, and mainly more so questions pertaining to how we're all born with like different genetics, different upbringings and stuff like that that determine our actions in a way. So it's like how come most people are going to go to hell then? You get what I'm saying? So like these are the questions that I started asking that kind of made me start questioning religion more and stuff like that. If you guys are religious, you can actually comment below and tell me what you guys think about this. But yeah, so I don't know. I've been asking these questions a lot recently. Um, yeah, I just kind of wanted to talk to the camera a bit about this. Let me see. What else did I want to say? Oh, yeah, this is like another like tangential thing, but in like Islam specifically, there is this rule about like making drawings and sculptures and stuff like that, where it's like you're not like supposed to do that in a way. And like the reasoning for that is because at the times in like Arabia, in like the 600s, they used to like make idols and stuff like that and statues. So I think that's the reason why it was prohibited mainly. But that rule I think still generally applies, where it's like you're not allowed to draw anything with a face, like a human face, or sculpt anything with a human face, or like a living creature or something like that. So that is something that is there too. Yeah, what else was I gonna? What else was I gonna say? I kind of just like randomly turned on the camera. I'm not even like gonna edit this at all. Right now, I'm working on a animation actually, as I usually am. But yeah. Let me see. Besides that, there's not much I want to say. I'll talk more about this in another video, I think. But yeah, have an awesome night or whatever, guys.